Good morning, my dear friends. It's update day, my dudes. At long last, Minecraft 1.20.2 is here. This is an update that contains more diamonds than ever, some brand new commands, cool villager changes, combat switch ups, and even more. A little while back, we started a tradition. Today, we continue it. This right here, my friends, is everything inside of Minecraft 1.20.2. The development of Minecraft 1.20.2, it began back in August, right at the beginning, and crossed all the way into September, where we are now. Over the course of about 2 months, we saw in total 4 snapshots, 4 pre-releases, and 1 release candidate for this update. In total, we've got 185 bug fixes. Those are numbers that are like, they're practically off the chart. Now for our big changes today, there's only one spot that I would like to begin. And that's going to be with a more technical change, but also at the same time, one of the bigger things inside of this update. From the look of the contents of this chest, is ender pearls. When setting up a new world, consider ender pearls vanish on death. By default, this game rule will be set to true. That's how it's kind of always been. But let's say we want to go ahead and change it up. To check this one out, you're going to have to be quick and you're going to have a little bit of a niche situation happen. Let's say I throw an ender pearl and then tragically, sadly, something very bad happens. I respawn, give it a second, and well, I teleported. With this game rule changed to false, when you leave this world and then come back, if you threw an ender pearl, it will not despawn. Like, it'll still be going. In the context of the end island and potentially falling off the side of this thing multiple times, potentially a little bit dangerous. Next up, we've got a change that everybody was looking for forever. Yes, that's, oh wow, the applause, I didn't expect it. New player reporting. You can now be banned for your name, and you could be banned for your skin. For this one, it's going to be a little bit hard to show off because coincidentally, all of my friends, I have so many, they were all busy when I was recording this video. So, let's imagine it. Let's say I hop onto a server and I find a terribly offensive skin, like for example, toilet paper head right here. Well, inside of the interactions menu that was added a while back, there'll be a new option category to report things for the name and the skin. According to the changelog itself, if the skin is deemed bad, the devs will remove your skin by hand. Yikes. After you tap like on this video right now real quick, thank you so much, it helps out. We'll go ahead and move on. Moving on to Lapis. Oh, this one kind of makes me a little bit sad, but check out the Lapis icon right there inside of the table. Does it look a little bit different to you? Because if it does, well yeah, that's because it is. The Lapis icon inside of the enchanting table was made to be the same as the one inside of the smithing table in this update. It's just a little bit more consistent. Ooh, my heart, it hurts. And this is really maybe one of the baddest changes in the entire update, but you have to know about it. So cycle discounting. This really kind of, to be honest, cheaty mechanic where basically you have a villager, you go ahead and turn it into a zombie villager, then you cure it to get the discount right there. Then I will go ahead and introduce a second zombie and do it again, and I'd get even more of a discount. But nowadays, any day past Minecraft to Java 1.20.2, cycle discounting is gone. You can discount the zombie villager one time, and it'll stay forever. But if I did it again, the price will not go down any more than this. If you're watching this video by chance before you've actually updated your world, do some cycle discounting real quick and lock those prices in. Next up, from the looks of this collage wall right here, we've got a brand new command. It's called the random command. In the grand scheme of standard survival Minecraft, it will not be very useful, but maybe if you're something of a gamer yourself and you want to essentially roll a dice inside of Minecraft, then you're going to run a command that looks something like this. Let's say this is a 96-sided dice. I go ahead and do random roll 1, ... and you need 2 of them, and then 96. Then go ahead and send the command in, just like that. I rolled the 49th side. Ah yes, Minecraft 1.20.2, the bee update 2.0. The bees inside of this update, they got 2 brand new superpowers. One of them involves Spore Blossom, the other one's gonna involve the end fruits down there. But anyways, check this out. So here we have a bee containment facility right here. I've got a couple bees in there and clearly the hives are ready to go. The only flower that the bee can get to right here is gonna be the Spore Blossom. Bees can now pollinate themselves on Spore Blossom. Look at that thing. It like dances on the ceiling just like that. It doesn't really change much in the world of farming or anything, but I don't know. Maybe it's like a new compact farm or something. Kinda cool. Though that one may change not very much, this one, oh boy, it's a groundbreaking change, especially if you're in the Minecraft Guide, Season 4, 2023. Look at this thing. The petals, as I grow them more, the hitbox that actually grows. We started really small. Oh, it gets bigger. Oh, this is an amazing change. It's groundbreaking, breathtaking, one of the most cool and exciting, not an... Yes, perfectly put, Zelda Fairy soundbite. Listen to all of these changes right here. So those ones right there, they use the stone sound now. I think they used like wood or something before. This one, it uses wood. It used stone before. And then finally the sponge. Those are brand new changes right there. Couple new sounds inside of this update. Moving on to one of the biggest changes inside of this update that is also at the same time nothing experimental at all. So it's fair to call Minecraft 1.20.2 the villager update. It's fair to call this 1.20.2 the bee update, but it's also fair to call this the combat update as well. Inside of this update, for the first time in literally years, we have a reworking of the combat system. At least a little bit. We start here with a fun fact for you. Inside of Minecraft 1.20.1 and all the updates before that, if I was standing on a block and a half, I could look at an Enderman, and technically speaking, I would have been safe standing on this block. It wouldn't be able to reach me. Now that's definitely not the case, as you can maybe see. So with these changes here, the dev's goal was to make combat make more sense and be a little bit more predictable. If we hit F3 and B, I believe it is, yeah, we see the hitboxes of the mobs. As long as I'm above the hitboxes of the mobs, they will not be able to hit me. The same with down below. As soon as I move into the hitbox, then it can hit me. That's going to mean a situation like this, where I'm just above the husk's hitbox right there. It won't be able to touch me. That is, until I hit it, it bounces up, and it can hit me a little bit. So expanding that a little bit, in a case that was a little bit confusing before, the Enderman. I'm standing right here. As you can see, the hitbox is pretty tall. That means in survival, if it's mad at me, and I'm only like 2 blocks up or whatever, it definitely can hit me. Now where this starts to get really, really interesting is with something that's a little bit smaller. Say, a baby husk over there. If you take a look at the husk's hitbox and the horse's hitbox, and then if I get on top of the horse, you will see that I'm higher than the husk. Because of these height-based changes in survival, if I take this horse out near a baby husk or a baby zombie or anything a little bit shorter, it's not going to be able to hit me. All of those changes, they kind of make the horse a little bit more like the camel, basically. And that's a huge buff to the horse. But if we go ahead and expand this change, like say, move into the nether a little bit with a camel, my dearest friend, and put a saddle on top of it, then after that, let's say I like wandered over and found an adult hoglin, very, very tall mob. Previously, this thing would have been able to hit me on top of the camel. Never really made sense. Nowadays, however, because of this height change, as long as I'm on top of a camel, look at this thing, the hoglin will never be able to hit me. This is like a brand new, super easy to make hoglin farm. Oh, it's kind of beautiful. Next up, a beautiful one. It's called Command Chat Memory. We've got a memory of 50 different commands. Check this out. In this world, most recently, I ran that command right there. After that, I went ahead and ran, like other rolling commands and yeah, just basically a bunch of other various commands. Now let's say I go ahead and leave the world. After that, I go ahead and jump over to a completely separate world where I was messing around making a thumbnail. If I check out the command history, it's all here. Commands, the 50 most recently used ones, they will be remembered from world to world. Wait a second, end update. Did I hear an end update from the back of the room? No, I'm going crazy, schizophrenic delusion. Oh, well, I thought I heard end update. We got some end updates in this update. No bottom support. So these things right here, previously you could have hung like a lantern off of some of them, the fruits, the flowers, whatever, but no, it doesn't work anymore. And also, well, actually, this is a beautiful buff. Wake up, babe, brand new MLG just dropped, and actually it's the easiest one in the world. You want to impress your lady, your fellow horse or something. Check this out. This is a flawless one. It's going to work every single time. Let's say theoretically I was running around and then suddenly I got teleported into the air. Previously, if I ate this chorus fruit, I would have took a lot of damage and it would have been done. But now, check this out. As long as I can finish eating the chorus fruit before I touch the ground, I'm teleported back to the ground with no fall damage at all whatsoever. Every single time this happens. It's so easy to pull off, and it actually makes these things way more useful than before. Skulk sensor to Skulk sensor. One of the most advanced things in Minecraft. We got a couple changes here, lads, involving the Skulk sensor and vibes. First off, vibrations are no longer at risk to being lost due to the simulation distance toggle. And then we've got a lot of different vibrations. Some of them are brand new, detectable for the first time, and other ones are changed, like the signal strength. Category number 1, they're all going to be signal strength 11. The first one is a turtle egg cracking. That's like when it's hatching a little bit. But also, if we have books and load them into a chiseled bookshelf from a hopper, that's going to be a signal strength 11. Let's say we had a sweet berry bush and it was growing sweet berries and a fox picked them. That's signal strength 11. And then let's say I had carrot crop growing and a rabbit picked them too, ate them. That would be signal strength 11. Moving up one signal strength to 12, we got a brand new turtle egg detector. When a turtle egg hatches, signal strength 12. Then when I had fire, and specifically I put it out with splashed water. Well, it would have been 12 if I could have done it. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I guess maybe the turtle is a big focus here. Because, you know, when you breed two turtles, they walk over romantically and start digging frantically. Well, that will be a signal strength 4 now. And the camel, we got a bunch of camel interactions, like dashing, standing up, and sitting down. All also 4. Finally, for our 4s here, the witch. When the witch drinks a potion... Hey, leave my camel alone. Totem of Undying, activated. Signal strength 7. Evoker, sending vexes or fangs in my direction. Signal strength 14. Using bone meal, that might be a little bit more useful. Should be signal strength 3. And last but not least here, unequipping an item. When you unequip something, it should be signal strength 4. Next up, the forbidden one, the barrier block. Change number 1, when you land on the barrier, there's no particles anymore. They don't exist. Change number 2, if you brush the barrier, there's also no particles anymore. They don't exist. And finally, for this forbidden guy, if you're in creative Minecraft, you can waterlog this thing now. And the water is fully contained inside of it. But only in creative. Next up, moving on. This is where the updates start to get really, really spicy. Of course, we have some relatively big updates that we just talked about, but I saved some of the best ones for last. Next up, diamonds. More diamonds, more love. Inside of this update, if you're going mining, you are going to be more rewarded than ever before. Specifically, if you're looking for diamonds. You go anywhere inside of diamond range, which has not changed at all, and you'll find more diamonds than ever before. Check this. Like, check this out. This is a random cave, just a big cave that I found real quick here. Inside of it, we've got diamonds exposed right there. We have a diamond exposed over there. We have a diamond exposed right there. We turn around, we have more diamonds right there. We got more diamonds right there, and oh boy, you get the theme here. If I go ahead and look around even more inside of this cave for longer, guarantee it, I'm gonna find more diamonds exposed. But look, it goes beyond the surface level. It gets deep here. Beyond exposed diamonds, you're also gonna find more non-exposed diamonds as well. Just like always, diamond chunks, they can be a little bit small, or if you're luckier than I am here today, they could expand beyond the surface. For this one, you've got 2 options. Smash like so the algorithm knows to send you back to me later on, or just subscribe. I have a deep dive experiment into this change that'll be dropping pretty soon. More diamond, more love, but also more iron, more love as well. And a change directly related to villagers that is not an experimental villager change. Iron golems are going to spawn a little bit faster now. Specifically 5 seconds faster. Yeah, so you know how it goes. Let's say you had 3 villagers inside of a villager farm or something, then you have a zombie and you show them it, they're gonna freak out and like scream and call an iron golem, basically, if all 3 can see the zombie at the same time. That was happening a little bit too slow, ever since Minecraft 1.18. So a long time. We got the diamond buff, it's beautiful. We got the iron farm buff, it's also beautiful, but also we got the gold buff, it's also beautiful. This one, unfortunately, it's not like more gold or anything like that. It's just like faster bartering loot. Same thing for the iron golem. Piglins actually bartered like 5 seconds too slow for a minute now. That all is gonna mean if you have an automatic barter farm set up or something, they'll do the trick a little bit faster. Next up, getting near the end of our list today, let's do a rapid fire round. A bunch of smaller changes. The dramatic music ensues, and now we check out the discs. Inside of the inventory, they've been reordered, specifically pig step. It's all the way at the end now. This whole video, I've been showing you a change. If you didn't notice it, how dare you? You're not a real Minecraft player. The hotbar at the bottom of the screen, it's fully on the screen now for the first time in a million years. An ancient fix inside of this update, bug 2310 from 1.4.3, 2012. This one has to do with mobs being able to hit you when they shouldn't have been able to hit you. It was fixed when they reworked combat. I'm really only throwing this one in here because it's an ancient bug. Kinda cool. This one is tragic, but I only do it for science. Certain mobs, like say the camel, if it was on a lead, it would not panic. Now it will panic when it's... Well, it's supposed to panic when it's on a lead. I guess nothing's perfect. I don't know about you, but ever since 1.20, have you been crafting bamboo fences and realized that they're not grouped together? Well, now they are. Bamboo fences and fence gates are with all of the other wood types, instead of being separate and alone. And finally, a villager trading change that actually isn't an experimental one. The order of the trades, when you trade with them and unlock new ones, it could be randomized now. That means, like, for example, I go ahead and level the weaponsmith up. Once it levels up, I get these 2 trades. Sometimes the iron could be above this one or the other way around. Alright, now next up, for some reason, we've got another interesting change. I put it here near the end because I'm highly suspicious of this one. I think it's a strange change. Random tick speed affects snow accumulation and ice formation. So over inside of a cold biome, first off, let's say I had it set so snow could actually pile up. After that, conveniently, let's say it began to snow, and slowly the snow is piling. Now clearly, as you can see here, snow is slowly but surely beginning to pile up. That's exactly how it worked before. Game rule, random tick speed 3000, and check this out. All of a sudden, this stuff piles up really, really quickly. Previously, nothing would have changed. It would have like piled up just as slow as before. Same thing is gonna happen with ice and creation of it now. That's interesting. A strangely specific change. Now next up, aside from a couple other things that we're going to talk about near the end of the video, we're going to move into a different category of updates inside of this update. Inside of this update, we've got a brand new experimental toggle. Now a little bit of bad news, if you want to check out this update, unfortunately, you need to create a brand new world. And when you do that, you need to turn on villager trade rebalance. I hate to say it, but sadly, if you've already created a world, I don't think there's any way at all to actually turn on the experiments. Enable that toggle, load up your world, and after that, you'll be able to check out all of these next changes we're going to talk about. Without that toggle on, enchantments will not be more specifically located inside of certain structures, like the ancient city or the outpost. So this first experimental change is meant to make certain enchantments easier to find when exploring your world. With the experimental villager changes enabled, you'll be able to find quick charge more frequently at the outpost, but not every time. Over at both of Minecraft's oldest temples, the jungle temple and the desert one, you'll be able to find unbreaking a little bit more frequently. And it actually worked that time. What's that? You find yourself in the great mending search? Well, try your hand at an ancient city. Terribly, terribly dangerous, but allegedly easier to find mending in than ever before. Just I guess apparently not for me. And finally here, the final enchantment that gets a little bit easier to find is going to be efficiency. If you'd like to find an efficiency book, any level of it, well then shoot your shot inside of a mineshaft. I do think it's kind of weird that these changes are locked behind the villager trading changes because I feel like these changes just kind of make sense. Like it's cool to be able to find these in different structures. Now moving on, the villager trading changes, as you would probably guess, they're going to involve different villagers. We're going to change the wandering trader, the armorer, the librarian, and the cartographer as well. We'll kick things off with what I would consider the universally loved changes, the wandering trader. Check this out. When the trader pops up inside of your world, it now likes the idea of buying things from you. Also selling you some new things like logs and pickaxes, but buying things from you. Now don't get too excited, it's not like a new emerald farm method or anything like that. You can only sell something one time. But still, a sale is a sale. When it comes to the wandering trader and basically everything else about it, nothing else has changed. It still spawns the same, despawns the same, everything like that. We just got basically new trades here. Next up, big shout out to my Instagram. It's not related to the villager changes, but you should drop a follow. Thanks. Next up, the armor villager. Now, to be honest, these next villager trading changes that we're gonna look at, there's a lot to them. Like, there's way more to these changes than we have time to talk about here today. And for a more in-depth video, keep your eyes out for the future, or check out some of the ones I already made, like the armorer one. I got a whole deep dive on this one, and some of the cool changes. The armorer trades have been completely reworked. Now, a common theme here with the armorer, but also the librarian and cartographer that we're going to check out in a second, is biomes. The different biome villagers have different trades here. As you can see, scrolling real quick here on the Minecraft wiki, this is a taste of what these new trades are going to look like. One of the more notable trade changes with the armorer is the taiga biome. It'll actually be able to buy diamond blocks from you. That compare pretty nicely with the diamond change that we talked about earlier. Check it out, these different biome locked trades. In theory, the concept is relatively simple. Take a villager, give birth to it inside of a different biome, or just find it like in the savannah or something, and poof, just like that, it's going to be able to have different trades. If you have a villager that is already existing, like let's say this one inside of the plains, I can't just move it to the jungle and then it has the jungle trades. I need to like literally get a jungle villager inside of Minecraft for the jungle trades. The most controversial one, and where the villager update kind of started, is the librarian. The librarian, the enchantment specifically, they are now biome locked and nerfed huge time. Yikes. Look at this chart right here. This is from the snapshot where they first popped up. After they popped up into the game, the devs changed nothing about them, so it's still 100% accurate. Basically, what we're looking at here is, if we have a librarian in the desert, it will only offer me infinity, thorns, and fire protection. Once I get it up to a master level, like I did in the plains, well, once this is at a master level, it is always going to have the same exact trade. The price might be different, but the same trade, basically. Protection 3 in the plains biome. Every time. Long story short, the most effective one here is mending. Mending villager. If you want the librarian mending villager, you need to get a villager into the swamp and make it a swamp villager to get mending at the max level. Now, without a lead inside of your new world that is experimental, it might be a little bit difficult to find a swamp biome. But I have great news. The final one will help you. Head out into your world a little bit until you find a village. Then inside of that village, hopefully, there's a cartographer villager somewhere. Go ahead and take a look at that cartographer, do a little bit of dealing with the cartographer, and eventually level said previously mentioned cartographer villager up. Once it hits its next level, we got brand new map traits. Inside of this biome, we've got a plains map and a jungle map. Now for the biomes that have villages, if you buy one of these maps from this thing, let's say a plains one, it's going to lead me over to a plains village somewhere. For the biomes that don't have villages, like let's say the jungle, this is actually going to lead me to a jungle temple. It's a brand new way to find structures. Haha, and explore. Now check out this chart right here. This chart is going to lay out all of the biomes that link together. So starting at the savanna biome, you can see at the savanna, I could buy a plains map. Then I could move over to the plains and buy a different map. And then from there, you could basically locate every single biome in the game. Or at least like every biome that has a villager. In my opinion, this cartographer change is actually pretty beautiful, and the armor changes, they're not too bad too. But like I said, for a more in-depth dive on these villager changes, I've got a couple different villager videos that I highly recommend. Check them out next, because we're almost done here today. Next up here, really quick, taking a look at the technical changes inside of 1.20.2, because oh boy, there's a lot of technical changes. I was contemplating on going through these like in depth one by one, but like I feel like that would be a very boring segment of the video, and probably most people don't really care about these too much. So instead, I commentate and talk about them while I scroll through them. Seriously, this is like insane. There are so many technical changes in this update. You gotta check it out if you're technical. And finally, friends, take a seat and sit back. It's gonna take a minute. We're gonna go through every single bug fix, 185 of them. Yep, that's right. Just kidding, that would be terribly boring too. Instead, we scroll through them very, very quickly here. A lot of these bugs, most of them, come from before 1.20, but a good chunk of them come from 1.20 and 1.20.1 as well. All in all, Minecraft 1.20.2, it has some negative updates like the villager curing thing, but it also has some beautiful, profitable updates as well, like diamonds. That's just about everything in Minecraft 1.20.2. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you haven't yet, do me a favor, tap like and subscribe. On the end card is going to be my update recap playlist. That's going to recap updates like 1.20.1, 1.20, and even 1.19. Whatever. All of those updates are still in the game. Until next time, it's been me, your handsome lad Wattles, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.